Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 15 of the FilmBrony Podcast. My name is Nick Kaneen, whom I've been helping Soren podcast episode 5.
Are you okay then?
And ever since then, can you guys hear me?
Just barely. You're kind of. Apologies for the technical difficulties, folks. Nick is gonna resolve them.
Soren and I made that hilarious Spider-Man teenage robot meme where J. Joe Jameson sees Jenny with ears.
Yeah, I saw that. It was pretty funny.
And I did that because my nephew Corey's a big Teenage Robot fan, and he was laughing out loud once he saw Jenny with ears.
Yeah. Yeah, she did look kind of funny with those ears. I'll have to see that cartoon sometime.
I have a lot of the episodes on iTunes. You know who Ray Porter is, right?
Remind me?
The voice of Darkseid.
Oh. Oh, there we go.
Hey, sorry about that. It's the fucking connection again.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anyway, what I said about earlier, I've been helping with Soren's podcast ever since episode 5, and we kept going with the show ever since. But of course, I'm not here alone. I'm pretty sure you guys probably introduced yourselves while I was out. So, but if you haven't, well, go ahead.
You host
My name is Christian Frates. I am one of the co-hosts of the FilmBrony Podcast.
Hand.
Yeah. And that's my impression of Stallone as the shark.
You have no idea how many times I watched that Suicide Squad trailer. I'm so looking forward to it. Anyway,
my dad really likes Stallone as the shark.
Yes.
Anyways, greetings everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of the FilmBrony Podcast, where three aspiring filmmakers come together every whatever and talk about the latest things in film, as well as topics from the past, present, and future. So here we have a couple of movie reviews.
Exactly.
The end of our Marvel movie retrospective. The ranking of one of our great filmmakers of the past. A redux of the top 20 films of 2019, as well as a couple of discussions. One of them relating to the recent Academy Awards.
Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about here. So let's waste no time and just dive right in.
And as always, I got a bunch of Blu-rays I want to showcase here, so let's begin. First up is what I consider to be one of Christian Bale's best performances, American Psycho.
I have to retrieve some videotapes.
Hey, Paul.
Great movie.
Mm-hmm. He should have been nominated for the Oscar. Anyways, Austin Powers, the trilogy.
Seriously.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Next, I have Bad Lieutenant, the original with Harvey Keitel. Next, I have Beauty and the Beast, the 40s French film. Next is Bronson with Tom Hardy. One of the better animated Sony movies, Claire with a Chance of Meatballs.
Bill Hader did a great job.
Uh-huh. Next, I have Stanley Kubrick's final movie, Eyes Wide Shut.
The password is Fidelio.
Next, I have
wasn't a fan of that.
Next, I have Flight.
Great movie.
Denzel's always a winner.
Uh-huh. Next, I have Gangs of New York. Next, I have one of the more underrated Marvel movies, and Christian can attest to this, Hulk. Next, I have Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, directed by Shane Black. Next, I have The Lost Boys. Next is one of the more underrated Schwarzenegger movies, and to me, his best performance, Maggie. Next is the animated remake of Metropolis. Next is The Outsiders, the complete novel. Paprika. All 4 Predator movies.
Great movie.
Mm-hmm. Next, I have Ron, directed by Kurosawa. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. The Secret of Nim. Spies in Disguise, rest in peace, Blue Sky Studios.
Great movie.
Next, I have both Trainspotting movies. Unbreakable. The Untouchables. And the original Witches.
Nice.
I think we have a little delay on next part. So that's it for all of my Blu-rays. And first up, first movie review is the first movie of 2021 I've seen, and that is Zack Snyder's director's cut of Justice League. So a long time of development, a lot of classing, an initial cut which led to be desired, and an insane fan petition for director Zack Snyder to finish what he started. We finally come to the moment of truth when his vision of the Justice League finally comes to the masses. So does it live up to the hype? Is this a second coming of Christ planned to claim this be? No, it isn't, but it's still freaking great. While the story is basically the same, there are scenes that are marginally similar to the Whedon cut, in a couple cases almost shot for shot. What really makes it all different is all the stuff Snyder put back in, and I mean a lot of stuff. I mean, this is 4 hours long. This might be in the top 3 longest movies I've ever seen.
What I really liked about the Snyder Cut is Ray Porter's voice for Darkseid. And that Martian Manhunter was in it.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen the original Justice League cartoons, right?
Not myself.
Well, that's where I was introduced to Martian Manhunter.
Nice.
Anyways,
and Steppenwolf's design is more fearsome.
Mm-hmm. It is. And And with all the stuff he put back in, Batman's no longer the wimp he was in the other cut. The Flash is no longer the massive try-hard comic relief he was in the other cut. I mean, he did have a lot more jokes put in than I thought there would be, but he's not like annoying or anything.
Or like Xander Harris.
Yeah. Superman is more consistent to his Man of Steel and BVS counterparts character-wise than he was in the other cut. Cyborg is more than just an emotionless robot, no pun intended. He's a real character this time. And Aquaman and Wonder Woman are pretty much the same. As for the threat, as Christian said, Steppenwolf is actually more than just a "I am so evil, I will take over the world" kind of bad guy. He's big, he's threatening, he's menacing, he's desperate for the redemption, and we actually get a sneak peek of Darkseid instead of just a mere mention.
I like to give a shout out to Ray Porter for voicing such an iconic DC villain. Way to go, Ray!
And the visual style is vastly improved as well. After we made the whole movie look idiotically oversaturated, Snyder brings it back to the realistic colors the movie deserved. And I thought the 1.33 to 1 aspect ratio was going to look a little weird, but I actually didn't notice it throughout this runtime. Speaking of runtime, as a guy who's always a sucker for like long-ass grand epics, I was not bored for a second. It really grabs your attention from the opening shot to the end credits. While the ending did drag on a little bit, the more I thought about it, the more I looked at it like the ending of Return to King. It's a long as hell movie, so it deserves all the time it needed to tie up loose ends. So overall, this is so far the best movie of the 2020s. Yes, better than Sound of Metal. I'm saying it right now. If you're a huge fan of Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, you will love this movie. If you saw the Whedon cut and were the least bit disappointed, you will love this movie. If you actually liked the Whedon cut, you will love this movie even more. Point is, stop watching this video, log on to HBO Max, pirate it, I don't care. Just go out and see Zack Snyder's Justice League when you can. I'm giving this movie a 10 out of 10.
Also, Jared Leto's Joker returns, but he's better in that than the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. You know what? Before we move on to the next review, Owen Buckner said this: the effects in that Whedon version were so bad, and yeah, I agree. I agree with Owen. It's just the visual effects in that film, including in the Whedon version, was just like, what is this?
Don't forget Superman's mustache.
Oh, God.
Look at me. I'm a guy with a mustache.
What? When I saw that, I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. Anyways, on to our next review, and holy crap.
I'm joining in because I saw the same movie as Soren.
I just talked about something great, and now we're talking about the complete opposite. Now, I was already not looking forward to this movie for 3 specific reasons. A, live-action movies based on cartoons are almost guaranteed to fail. I mean, there might be some exceptions, but that's kind of the minority. B, director Tim Story is a pretty hit-and-miss director with, he did good movies like the 2 better Fantastic Four movies, but then he also made ride-along movies and the reboot quote of Shaft. And see, this duo's history with full-length movies have been severely lacking, to say the least. But with an open mind, I watched this movie, and it's actually not as bad as I feared it would be. In fact, it was so much worse. Of course, I'm talking about Tim Story's reboot of Tom and Jerry. Holy
Oh.
So, where do I even begin with this? In fact, let me just start with this. Like with the original 1992 film, the duel is barely the main focus of their own movie, especially since their title is their name is actually in the title. Instead, the main character is this selfish, unfunny ass played by Chloe Grace Moretz, who cheats a woman out of a job interview, steals her resume claiming it as her own, and generally doesn't have the least likable personality in the slightest. Because, if there's any good role model for your kids, it's Hit Girl from Kick-Ass. And the rest of the characters are crap too. From Ken Jeong doing the same thing he's been doing in every shitty comedy he's in, to Michael Pena, who seriously needs to fire his agent. And the humor... What humor? It's just a bunch of unfunny banter between the human characters and Tom and Jerry's slapstick that's just copied and pasted from the original cartoons. I mean, there's a difference between inspiration and imitation, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
The CGI and music are just so bad. These animators really need to take a page from
Oh, God! The soundtrack is so bad!
Yeah, I can only tolerate so much rap music in one movie, especially from those damn pigeons who pop up every now and then. And the story is just so basic and cliched. You can basically predict everything that's gonna happen from the opening shot all the way up to the annoying credits. So, overall, why is this movie a thing? Why did they make all these decisions for it? Why is it that I'd rather see that crappy Willy Wonka crossover after this? More importantly, why should you waste your hard-earned time and money on this disaster when you can watch the older and much better cartoons for an hour and a half?
Yeah, really.
I'm giving this movie a 1 out of 10. And to quote Tom himself, don't you
believe it. All right. Now for my take on this, and this is the worst movie I've seen this year so far. And keep in mind, this is the first movie I reviewed in 2021. And I'm well aware that there might be worse movies this year, other than Tom and Jerry. But other than that, this is bottom of the barrel. This is like top 3 worst films I've seen this year so far. And you know what? Before I talk about what I hated about this movie, Network 98 Live, I actually had this question for you, Soren. Soren, is this worse than the 1992 one?
Actually, yeah. Because at least the 90s movie, at least I can look at it and laugh at it on how stupid it is. This movie, on the other hand, I will never see myself watching it again.
Yeah, really. And you know what? To answer that question too, I also say yes. Look, I hate how Tom and Jerry were able to talk in the film, and I hated the musical numbers in it. But at least that film had a couple of charming moments here and there,
such as "We've got to have Monday."
Funny you mentioned that, because that's like Warner Brothers' reason for making this movie, just to have the money. I have so much to talk about with this one, because now, okay, originally my positives, I said the cinematography and the animation were decent, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, it is nicely shot, but the lighting is one of the biggest problems I have with the film. It's just too polished. It's just too bright and just too polished. And another thing too about the animation. Yes, the animators did a good job, like animating the animated characters, but it's how the CGI effects were that made it so underwhelming. And I talked about this many times before, especially in my review of it, but speaking of the human characters, let's get to the human characters, shall we? I could not give a shit about any of the human characters in the film. As Soren mentioned, you have Michael Pena, whom, dude, whoever your agent is, fire your agent right away. He's doing nothing but ruining your careers. I mean, it's just first Chips, then MLP the movie, even though I actually like that movie, then Jetsy, and now this one, and Fantasy Island.
Yippee-ki, yes.
Oh! Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, we already opened that can of worms 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, really. Yeah, really. It's he's horrible in this movie. He is horrible in this movie, and Ken Jeong is. I don't listen. I don't hate Ken Jeong at all. I do think he's a good actor, but he just needs to find better roles that he's in, other than being in those stupid comedies that are just doing nothing but killing his career.
Yeah, really.
But they're not the worst things about the film. Oh no. That goes to, unfortunately, Chloe Grace Moretz. Look, I like Chloe Grace Moretz. She's a very talented actress, but she was terrible in this movie. Absolutely terrible. And worst of all, her character is the worst thing about the film, because, as Soren mentioned, in order to get that job at the hotel, she steals a resume from a woman and basically lies to the workers at that hotel in order to get that job. And you know what? That really pisses me off so much, because this is basically teaching kids how to basically lie and steal. Like they're saying, oh well, it's okay to lie, it's okay to lie, and it's okay to steal. Bullshit! That's not how life works.
She's kind of like Oscar the Shark Slayer, because they get their way with lying, unfortunately.
Yeah. At least Robin Starling in the original movie was a decent character.
Yeah, really. Oh, and Network 998 Live also had this question for me too. He asked, Nick, is this worse than Yogi Bear or Smurfs 2? I think it's worse than Smurfs the Smurfs 2, and the more I think about it, the more I think it's actually worse than Yogi Bear. Yeah.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, it is. Another thing that really pissed me off about this movie was, of course, the soundtrack. You know how I said that I'm getting really sick and tired of like kids movies that like don't respect their intelligence? Well, the soundtrack is one of the worst examples of this in the new Tom and Jerry movie. What I meant to say was the new Tom and Jerry movie is sadly one of the worst examples of this, because the soundtrack in this movie is absolutely horrendous, since they rely way too much on either K-pop or hip-hop, which got really annoying really fast and really irritated me to no end. Especially in the opening when you see those goddamn rapping pigeons.
Oh, we want to turn those birds into chocolate.
Actually, I wish they do it so that they wouldn't annoy the shit out of us.
Yeah, really. And Soren made a. Yes, and there's a Wi-Fi joke in there, and it's just beyond shitty. And it was just shoehorned in. And speaking of the jokes, let's get to the jokes, shall we? When they rely on the Tom and Jerry slapstick, I agree with Soren. It is just nothing but imitating the old cartoons. You do realize that there's a difference between. Look, guys, you do realize that there's a difference between it's being inspired by something and just copying it, right?
Yeah, really.
Kind of like how Chicken Little copied Shrek, and it failed, obviously.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, really. And there's this one joke. There was this one joke that they threw in the film that really pissed me off to no end. It's in the film, so spoilers, I guess. Who cares, though? You shouldn't see the movie. I'm going to spoil the shit out of it. Let's go. So one day Network 98 Live, Chicken Little is an awful, awful movie. Anyway. Alright, so we cut to this montage of Tom and Jerry spending time with each other in New York City one day because Chloe Grace Moretz's character tells them to do so that she wouldn't get fired. And then we cut to Tom and Jerry going to a New York Yankees stadium. And this was when I knew they were going to throw this joke in. When I saw this joke, I was like, if they dare throw this joke, I'm going to be this pissed off. And they did. And I'm going to mention that right now. So when they go to a New York Yankees stadium game, one of the visitor players, we cut to one of the visitor players who hits the ball with the bat, and then the ball comes towards them, which gives Jerry a chance to have Tom get the baseball with the mitt, but then as soon as he tries to catch a foul ball, one of the New York Yankees players tries to get it, but then Tom catches it before he does, which results in him getting harassed, booed, and taunted by the New York Yankee fans. When I knew what this was referencing, I was so pissed off. They were referencing Steve Bartman. The Steve Bartman incident from 2003. Now, here's the reason why this joke really pissed me off. And this might be a bit controversial because of this, but take what I said with a grain of salt. The incident happened back in 2003, in which I feel it wasn't Steve Bartman's fault. All he wanted was just to catch a foul ball, and then one of the Cubs players all of a sudden throws a temper tantrum just after Steve Bartman catches that foul ball. And this man has been through hell for years until 13 years later when the Cubs won the World Series, in which they gave him a World Series ring, and they themselves gave the World Series ring as an apology for the incident. And he was living a good life since then. So what's the point of bringing that joke back when Steve Bartman already had a good life? And is still living a good life to this very day? Fuck you guys.
You've made some good points.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as a result, I clearly haven't seen the Tom and Jerry movie, and I'm skipping it because it's pointless.
And I know what you're asking, Network. No, it's not worse than The Last Airbender, or Dragon Ball Evolution, or Transformers The Last Night. I do think it's worse than Alvin and the Chipmunks, because at least I could watch Alvin and the Chipmunks as like a guilty pleasure. With this piece of shit, though? No, siree, Bob. No. I am never watching this again. This is the worst movie I've seen this year so far. And it's idiotic, it's cliched, it's unfunny, and What else do I need to say? It's a 0! 0 out of 10! A total epic fail! Please, for the love of God, even if you're a huge Tom and Jerry fan, do not watch this movie. Just watch the original cartoons. They're way funnier and way more creative. Or if you want to see a great live action / animation hybrid, watch this movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, one of the greatest movies ever made. Watch that one instead of this piece of shit. Zero out of 10, or an F. Worst movie I've seen this year so far, and one of the worst animation / live action hybrid movies I've ever seen.
Or Strong Bed would say, not good enough, F minus minus.
I wouldn't go that far, but still, it is the worst movie I've seen this year so far. I'm well aware I might see worse things than I'm well aware that I might see worse movies than Tom and Jerry this year, and God help me when I do. But as of right now, this is the worst movie I've seen in 2021 so far. And you know, one more thing that really, really baffles me to no end. This was written by one of the writers, Kevin Costello, who was one of the writers of one of my favorite movies of 2017, Brigsby Bear. Dude, I love you, man. I know you're a good writer, but why would you suggest yourself to this and follow it up? Why would you follow up Brigsby Bear with this piece of shit?
Seriously.
Yeah, 0 out of 10. Worst movie I've seen this year so far, and one of the worst animation / live action hybrid movies I've ever seen. It makes Yogi Bear, the first 2 Smurf movies, and what was that other? Oh yeah, the Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas look like masterpieces in comparison.
And to quote a character from honestly one of a Tom and Jerry movie that I can't believe it actually better, to quote that movie.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
So yeah. Fuck this movie.
Yeah, fuck this movie up its own fucking ass. And you know what? It's the first time I'm bringing this quote up in a while. This movie can go fuck a prickly cactus.
Seriously.
Fuck this movie.
Tim Story, please redeem yourself.
Seriously, the only film I liked from Tim Story was the first Barbershop movie, and the first 2 Fantastic Four movies weren't actually that bad. They were fine for what they were, but that's it. I have not liked anything else from this director. Tim Story, either redeem yourself or just stop. Okay? I'm not trying to destroy your film career because well, obviously I know you have talent. You need to show talent by not doing more of these shit films. Do something better for once. All right, I'm done.
Now we can move on for that disaster. As we come to the conclusion of one of our big retrospectives. So, as you may know, for the past couple episodes, we've been looking at every single Marvel movie ever made, all the way to lead up to Black Widow, and today it's time to conclude it.
Let's do it.
So our first movie is to many one of the biggest surprises of 2016, Deadpool.
That's a great movie.
My pal Richard Epcar did the vocal effects of Colossus in that one, as well as the Juggernaut in the sequel. Did you know that?
Interesting.
Now, personally, I didn't exactly love this movie because some of the jokes didn't really land, and the chemistry between him and who's the chick's name?
Marina Baccarin.
Thanks. It was okay, but I didn't really exactly buy the chemistry super well, and I thought that extreme sex montage was completely unnecessary. But at the same time, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. There are some great action sequences, and it was a big redeem for Ryan's career, especially after Blade Trinity, Barakapool, and Green Lantern.
And they did some clever pot shots.
Mm-hmm. Next up is Captain America: Civil War. Now, when I first saw this movie in theaters back in 2016, I didn't really love it, but years later, after rewatching it on Blu-ray, I fucking love this movie. It's my second favorite movie of 2016. I mean, the dynamic between Tony and Cap is extraordinary. Their conflict is believable. The excuse me. The villain Zemo is great, and it introduced us to one of the more recent beloved characters, like Black Panther, rest in peace, Chadwick, and Spider-Man. And anyways, next up is X-Men Apocalypse. Now, personally, I don't really get the hate for this movie. I thought that Oscar Isaac did an excellent job as Apocalypse. The thread is there, and I appreciate the dynamics they went with for both Xavier and Magneto, and we get to see a sneak peek for Wolverine's Berserker race, so that's always a plus. Now, as for this next movie, Doctor Strange, I know this is a unpopular opinion, but personally, this might be my least favorite movie of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because, yes, the visuals are amazing. Both Tilda Swinton and Benedict Cumberbatch kill it. And the climax was friggin' brilliant. But the story I didn't really get into. Especially considering that the reason behind Stephen Strange going to get all these powers is because he texted while driving. Because... So remember, kids, if you text and drive, you'll become a wizard. I know it's a pretty much of an oversimplification, but yeah. Next is my personal favorite Marvel movie ever, Logan.
Great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, it's set in an alternate reality.
Yeah. Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart gave it their all, seeing that those were the last times playing Logan and Xavier, and which they should have been nominated for the Oscars, by the way.
Yeah.
And the movie itself, I mean, I'm glad it got a nod for Best Adapted Screenplay, but it deserved more. Oh, and Daphne Keane, she should have been nominated too.
I liked pretty much everything about it. And when you think about it, if it wasn't for Deadpool being financially successful, then people wouldn't be ready for Logan.
Yeah. Anyways, next up is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I fucking love this movie. I don't understand why I don't understand the problems people have with it. It's even better than the first one. It's funnier than the first one, but also somehow darker. And who played Michael Rooker? He also should have been nominated, by the way. Speaking of Marvel actors who should have been nominated, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Always a winner.
Mm-hmm.
James Gunn at his finest. Soren?
Captain America Civil War, which I don't because he makes more of a cameo than a all-out appearance. But I really appreciate that that compared to other Spider-Man movies, this was more low scale. Seeing that he is our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and to think that Michael Keaton went from Batman to Birdman to Vulture. To think that he did 3 superhero roles in one career. If that's not outstanding, I don't know what is.
One of my favorite scenes is at the very end where Peter gets suited up and his aunt caught him and says something like, "What the fuck?" Like that.
Mm-hmm. Next up is Thor Ragnarok, which is arguably the funniest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, originally I kind of had doubts with this movie, seeing that this was a more comedic direction compared to the first 2 Thor movies. But boy, did this movie surpass my expectations. The banter with Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Tessa Thompson, and others is funny as all hell. The visuals are outstanding, and the soundtrack is fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
In a way, I would think of Thor Ragnarok as if Shrek the Third was 10 times better, because you have a green guy and a royal heir to the throne.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Shrek the Third.
Well, I'm saying that Thor Ragnarok is pretty much a better version of Shrek the Third.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, really.
Next up is the first comic book movie to ever be nominated for the top award at the Oscars, Black Panther.
Personally, aside from Logan, this is my favorite one.
And I can't disagree on the Academy's nomination of that movie, because it is visually stunning with its production design and costuming. The Chadwick Boseman is believable as Black Panther. Again, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, man.
And to think that Michael B. Jordan, that this is the third Marvel actor to redeem himself with another Marvel role. I mean, first we had Chris Evans from Human Torch to Captain America. Then, like I said, Ryan Reynolds from Deadpool to, Deadpool. And now we have Michael B. Jordan going from the Human Torch to Killmonger.
I like Killmonger's outfit because he reminded me of Vegeta.
Mm-hmm. And me, and honestly, Michael B. Jordan should have been nominated Best Supporting Actor. And
yeah, really.
And speaking of villain roles who should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor that year, Avengers Infinity War.
Not one of my favorites, but still a great movie.
I mean, talk about The Empire Strikes Back for a new generation. You think that combining all these characters from all these movies would have been a total clusterfuck, but no. The Russo brothers really knew how to handle all these characters, and in the satisfying way.
And pretty much everything said from Thanos is quotable, like a character from Mean Girls quotable.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is, to me, the better one of these movies, Deadpool 2. The reason why I think this one's better is because it's way funnier.
It also has a more linear approach.
Uh-huh. And I actually bought the romance between him and the other girl as well, and I really felt for him when she tragically got killed. And X-Force themselves is worth the price of admission.
And as I said before, Richard Epcar did the vocal effects of Colossus in the first movie, and he did so with the Juggernaut in this one.
Okay, to answer Network 98 Live, whatever fast food chain made a movie, they did. It's called Mac and Me.
Oh yeah, that film.
All right, next up is not a lot of people's favorite movies, but personally I find it to be pretty underrated. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I'm sorry, but it's my least favorite of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. I couldn't stand it.
Personally, I really dug this movie because not only of the Paul Rudd and eventually Lily giving out really funny one-liners, but also now that you think about it, this might be the only Marvel movie without an actual villain.
And that was kind of one of the reasons why I didn't like it.
I can understand it. And speaking of a Marvel movie that you either love or hate... Eyes, lungs, pancreas, so many snacks, so little time.
Venom.
Mm-hmm.
That comes from the comics.
Oh.
This is one of these movies that Nick and I are pretty much polar opposites on, and there are very few.
This movie, I hated it.
Well, Nick, do you consider it worse than Spider-Man 3?
Yes.
Personally, I had fun with this movie because, like I said on episode 1 on the podcast, I didn't really see this movie as a movie you're not really supposed to take seriously. And but if you don't like this movie, I completely understand.
It's going to have a sequel directed by Andy Serkis.
I'm not excited for that at all. I'm sorry. I'm really hoping they do fix. What I'm really hoping for is that they do fix the mistakes from the first movie. But other than that, I have low expectations for this one. And don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on the comedy in the first Ant-Man movie. I meant the first Venom movie.
Well, on an unrelated note, they're going to have a Morbius film with Jared Leto and Michael Keaton. We don't know if Michael Keaton's going to play the Vulture in that.
Yeah, it's just... God, I really hate this Venom movie. There was a reason why it was one of the worst movies I saw from 2018. Because here's the reason. This movie, you don't really see Venom in the film until literally an hour into this 90-minute film.
And they didn't even mention or show Spider-Man.
Yeah. Especially since Venom's suit is practically based on Spider-Man's suit. And to reply to Owen, Andy Serkis is an incredible actor, but he has to improve as a director. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, he does. I hate to say it, but I love Andy Serkis. He's a great actor, but I've seen Breed. It's good, but not great. And yeah, I do agree that he has to improve as a director.
No, that isn't Andy Serkis directing the first movie. It's Ruben Fleischer of Zombieland fame.
No, I'm talking about the sequel.
Oh.
Yeah, we're talking about the sequel. And don't even get me started on the comedy in the first Venom movie. It was garbage and cringy as hell. It's like those watching the comedy in Venom felt like I was watching a basic cringe. You know how it's like one of those improv shows where it's like they kept repeating a joke over and over and over again, and then they drag it out for longer and longer. That's what it felt like as I was watching the comedy in the new Venom movie.
In a way, it feels like a cutscene of a Philips CDI game.
Well, at least we can all agree that the best part of the Venom movie is the end credits scene, which ties into our next movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I'm kind of conflicted on which is better, Spider-Verse or Spider-Man 2, but we can all agree that this is the most visually stunning of the Spider-Man movies.
Yes.
I mean, it really makes you feel like you're in a comic book.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, Sony Pictures Animation, just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself.
Thank goodness for that. Thank goodness for that, because they made in 2017 they made the worst animated film I saw from the last decade, the Emoji Movie, which fuck this fucking piece of shit to hell. Then a year later, they made what I consider to be the best animated film of the last decade.
For me, I'd say Sausage Party is the worst animated Sony movie, but technically that's not really from the Sony Animation Studio. But
no.
But getting off topic.
Right.
Well, I loved everything about Spider-Verse. I liked the songs, I like the cast, and I liked the nods to the other Spider-Man properties. And I'm so excited for the sequel next year.
Me too.
Next up is it's again not a lot of people's favorite Marvel movie. In fact, it was my least favorite MCU film until I saw Doctor Strange. Anyways, punchline is Captain Marvel.
It was okay.
Yeah, I did like Nick Fury. I appreciate the effects they pulled on him, making him look younger.
Oh.
And the best part of that movie is the opening scene, the opening credit scene, which honors Stan Lee, you know the one. But the reason why this was my least favorite MCU film was because this one seemed the most trite. This one seemed the most cliched. And hey, Captain Marvel, I liked it more when I saw it the first time. It was called Wonder Woman.
Yeah, really.
But thankfully, this next movie is a vast improvement over that movie. Avengers Assemble.
Avengers Endgame. Definitely one of my top three favorites from that from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Mm-hmm.
Endgame is amazing.
It is
inevitable, and I am Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. And to think that RDJ went from the best movie in his career to again, we opened that can of worms 2 episodes ago.
No one else can play Tony Stark better than Robert Downey Jr.
Poo,
Seriously.
Poo little. Poo star. How I wonder what type of fucking shit you are.
Now we get to yet another movie that Nick and Neil and I are polar opposites on, because I'm actually one of the people who like this movie, and that's the final main X-Men movie, Dark Phoenix.
I hated this movie. It was such a depressing watch.
Do you consider it worse than The Last Stand?
Yeah.
Wow, that's saying a lot. Because at least with this one goes into the cosmic origins of the Dark Phoenix, instead of just like Jean Grey drowned and now she's automatically the Dark Phoenix. Except she gets shoehorned in, instead she gets sidelined compared to this main storyline. But yeah, about the Dark Phoenix. The reason why I like this movie was because to me it is visually stunning. The cinematography and effects are pretty well done. The Hans Zimmer and the Hans Zimmer score, while the Hans Zimmer score is a bit too similar to his Interstellar score, it's still really pretty to listen to. And I actually find myself listening to some of the songs on YouTube once in a while.
Well, one particular quote I didn't like is where Mystique suggests that the team should be renamed X-Women.
Yeah, that was kind of stupid.
Interesting fact, both Dark Phoenix and Deadpool 2 shared the similar film schedules, and that's why the X-Men made a cameo in Deadpool 2.
I did not know that. Anyways, on from Dark Phoenix, now we have Spider-Man Far From Home, the final movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 3.
In the Infinity Saga.
And there's two things I want to mention. One is that when I saw the trailers and when I saw the trailer for this movie and saw how Mysterio was being portrayed, I thought it was kind of weird, but I knew that, but deep inside, I knew that he was gonna betray Spider-Man and Shield one way or another. I did not know how. I did not know how he was gonna betray them though.
And there were some clever callbacks from the earlier films that become important in this film, such as this clever gem.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a bunch of scraps.
If you don't know, the crony he talked to works for Mysterio.
And
Right.
And he was also Ralphie from A Christmas Story. Did you know that?
Neat.
Yeah, I actually knew about this.
And J.K. Simmons actually reprised his role as J. Jonah Jameson at the end credits.
That was well-deserved reprisal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really. And to quote Bill Murray from Ghostbusters, well, there's something you don't see every day.
Yeah.
And the Skrulls came back too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And last and probably least, we have the New Mutants.
It's bad, but I've seen worse.
Well, it's probably because since Disney was ready to buy Fox, production went haywire.
I can't
Yeah.
fucking stand the New Mutants. For the first hour or so, nothing happens. But and even if did something happen in the third act, it was like fan-forced levels of stupid.
I wouldn't go that far, but it was really stupid.
So yeah, fuck the New Mutants, and fuck the way that it was, and fuck the fact that it was the final Fox X-Men movie.
Like I said in my original thoughts on this movie, it's bad, but I've seen worse.
And thus concludes our three-part Marvel movie retrospective. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that we do something similar in the future.
Yeah, I would like to do something similar to this. I'm up for it.
Anyways, our next topic is attaining to one of our great filmmakers of the 20th century, Kubrick. Right here, I have. And right here, I have a ranking of all 13 of his movies, ranking from worst to best. Now, just to clarify, I'm not really counting his short films because I don't really cover short films. I'm also not counting AI, artificial intelligence, because yes, while Kubrick did come up with a story and worked on some pre-production before his death, ultimately it was Steven Spielberg who made a majority of it. So AI's out of this list.
Yeah.
Anyways, number 13. Number 13 is his first movie and the only movie that he kind of regretted doing. And seeing it, I did like the movie, but I can see why he wasn't really proud of it. Number 13 is Fear and Desire. Anyways, number 12 is a romance movie that to me was a little long, but really compelling, Lolita. Number 11 is The Killing. Number 10, Killer's Kiss. You know, funny thing, Killer's Kiss was actually included as a bonus feature on the Killing Blu-ray. And the ironic thing is, I personally preferred Killer's Kiss over The Killing, but that's just me. Anyways, number 9, Full Metal Jacket.
Where's your major malfunction, numbskull?
Me so horny.
I bet you can suck a golf ball through a garden hose. Both Ollie Army and Vincent D'Onofrio should have been nominated for that movie.
Yeah, really.
Number 8 is his final movie, which I just mentioned, Eyes Wide Shut. Number 7 is Barry Lyndon. Fun fact, he was after 2001: A Space Odyssey. Kubrick was supposed to make a biopic on Napoleon Bonaparte, but due to a lot of issues, he ultimately canceled it. But seeing Barry Lyndon, you can pretty much see how he was gonna film his Napoleon movie.
Oh yeah.
Number 6 is I'm Spartacus.
I love you, Spartacus.
Yeah, it's very cute.
Number 5 is Paths of Glory. Number 4, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Mein Führer, I can walk. You can't find here, gentlemen. This is the war room. Number 3 is an interesting depth into the old ultraviolence, A Clockwork Orange.
Definitely one of the best ones.
It deserved to be preserved for the National Film Registry.
Yeah.
And fun fact, originally back in 1971, this film got banned in the UK because of its violence. It wasn't until Kubrick's death that it was re-released there to massive acclaim. It did reach financial and critical success here in America, though. Number two,
and it deserved it.
Number 2, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
One of his very best.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
That was referenced in the Sam and Max games.
Interesting.
And number 1, here's Johnny. The Shining.
Here's Johnny! Hey, Soren. Soren.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hey, Soren.
I'm Spartacus.
Guys, if you haven't watched that episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway, seek this one out.
Seriously.
I'm Spartacus.
Anyways, what about you, Nick? How would you? What's your
Okay, so I'll do my top 5 because I've only seen like 5 of the Stanley Kubrick films. Oh wait, actually 6, but I'm only gonna do 5. All right. Number 5. Number 5 is Barry Lyndon. Oh no, wait, Barry Lyndon's number 6. Number 5 is Doctor Strangelove. Number 4, 2001: A Space. Oh wait, number 4, Clockwork Orange. Number 3, 2001 is number 3, Full Metal Jacket. Number 2, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and of course, number 1. Here's Johnny, The Shining.
Hey, we have the same number 1. Cool.
Yeah, we do, and the same number 2.
Anyways, on to a new segment on the show, and this since last episode, Nick and I did our top 10 favorite movies of 2019. I figured that it would be a pretty good idea to look back at the previous years, see as many movies as we can from that particular year, and give us our particular top 20 movies. Starting off with this episode, the top 20 films of 2019. Now, yes, I did do something similar like this in episode 3 or 4, but seeing that I saw a few more movies between then and now, I figured I'd redux it. And unlike the last 2 times, I'm not gonna go super in depth into each of these picks. I'm just gonna list it, say a couple things if I want to, and move on. And as for every top 20 list, as for every top 10 list or top 20 list in this case, I have a few honorable mentions here. They are Midsommar, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Toy Story 4, Glass, Little Women, The Farewell, Hustlers, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and the one that just missed it, The Lego Movie 2, the second part.
Okay, let me just pull my Letterboxd account to list my honorable mentions. As for my honorable mentions, I have Rocketman, Shazam, Queen and Slim, John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, Hustlers, Midsommar, Loose, Judy, Blinded by the Light, The Mustang, Souvenir, Wild Rose, The Peanut Butter Falcon, Pedro Almodovar's Pain and Glory, Richard Jewell, Dark Waters, The Last Black Man in San Francisco, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, And the last two are documentary films, Maiden and Apollo 11.
Nice.
Thanks.
Anyways, my number 20 is this generation's Kramer versus Kramer Marriage Story.
Nice.
Number
My
19.
pal Brock Baker made a hilarious dub where he does Scarlett Johansson in the voice of Mickey Mouse and Adam Driver in the voice of Goofy.
I'll have to look into that when I get a chance.
Hmm.
Number 19 is the sequel to The Shining, Doctor Sleep.
Nice.
Number 18 is Jordan Peele's Us.
Sweet.
Lupita should have been nominated for that movie.
Yes, she should have.
That was my pick for Best Actress. Her or what's her name? Renee Zellweger. Her or Renee Zellweger was my pick. Number 17 is Shia LaBeouf's unofficial biography, Honey Boy. Number 16 is one of the more underrated movies of that year, Ad Astra. Really sad that it bombed.
Very, very, very overlooked. I love that movie.
Number 15, Shazam. Number 14 is this generation's Rayman, the Peanut Butter Falcon.
Nice.
Number 13 is Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
My dad and I loved that.
I love that movie.
Number 12 is How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, my favorite anime movie of that year.
Nice.
Number 11 is Rocket Man. Number 10, Ford versus Ferrari. Number 9, Uncut Gems. Sandler was snubbed.
Yeah,
That and Punch Drunk Love are two of the best dramatic performances by Sandler.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Number 8, Genre Chapter 3. Number 7, The Irishman.
Really? That low?
There are a lot of movies that I like just a bit more.
Oh, that makes sense.
Number 6 is Birdman meets Saving Private Ryan, 1917.
Nice.
Number 5.
And by the way, I was only kidding from earlier. It's your opinion after all.
Okay. Number 5 is Jojo Rabbit. And fun fact, did you know that Taika Waititi is actually the first Marvel director to win an Academy Award? And who knows? Maybe Chloe Zhao could be the second. But,
yeah, I mean, I am excited for Eternals.
Number 4, you get what you fucking deserve, Murray.
Or as Lobo would say, you get what you friggin' deserve, Sonny!
Number 3, I just rewatched this movie and I just loved it. I just rewatched this movie today and I loved it back. I loved it last year when I saw it, but I love it even more seeing it a second time. Number 3 is the groundbreaking Parasite.
I love Parasite.
Number 2, The Lighthouse.
Nice.
And number 1, I am Iron Man. Avengers Endgame.
Nice. All right, so I'll go ahead and... So, like Soren, I'm not going to repeat myself that I'm not going to go into details with most of the list because if we did, we'd be staying here all day. So I'm going to just go ahead and just list off the films from 20 through 1 without any details. All right. Number 20, Ad Astra, one of the most overlooked films I saw from 2019. Number 19, my second favorite animated film of 2019, The How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World.
Mm-hmm.
Number 18, Avengers Assemble. Avengers Endgame. Number 17, Booksmart. One of my favorite coming-of-age comedies ever.
And actually, the best Barbie movie we've ever gotten so far.
Oh, yeah! I remember that scene! I literally died of laughter when that scene popped up, when I saw it in theaters.
It's just as good as Superbad.
Yes! Number 16, Number 16, Noah Baumbach's Marriage Story. Number 15, Us. Number 14, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Number 13, Knives Out. Number 12, The Lighthouse. Number 11, The Farewell. Number 10, James Mangold's Ford versus Ferrari.
We have to say number 10. Cool. No.
Yeah. Number 9, You Get What You Fucking Deserve! Joker. Number 9. Number 8, my favorite animated film of 2019, Toy Story 4. Number 7, Little Women, directed by Greta Gerwig. Number 6, Jojo Rabbit. Number 5, Uncut Gems. Seriously, fuck you, Oscar, for snubbing Adam Sandler. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Sam Mendes' 1917. Number 3, Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Number 2, Martin Scorsese's The Irishman.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, my number 1 favorite movie of 2019, Bong Joon-ho's Parasite.
Mm-hmm. Before we move on, I just gotta do this real quick. Oh, hold on. So, hold on. Just gotta skip this.
How about another joke, Ray?
No, I think we've had enough of your jokes.
What do you get?
I don't think so.
When you cross
I think
a
we're
mentally
done
ill
with you.
loner
That's
with a
it.
society that abandons him and treats him like trash!
Call the police,
I'll
Chief.
tell you what you
Call the police.
get what you fucking deserve!
And here comes here's Brock Baker's parody as Goofy.
That's still give.
Let me put it on.
With a society that abandons him and treats him like trash! I'll tell you what you get. You get what you fucking deserve!
Trust me, you'll like it. It's called Joker, but it's Goofy and Winnie the Pooh.
Nice. That scene still gives me the willies to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were surprised by my yuck?
Oh, that reminds me. It reminds me when Shea Froze also did a take on that, but instead of like but instead of Robert De Niro being the host, it's Shea Froze. Let me find that. I literally died of laughter when I first saw that. Oh crap! An ad is coming up.
Welcome to my world.
Looks like we gotta wait a minute. Just sorry guys. I know we're stalling a bit, but it's just I wanted to show these guys something. Oh, all right.
Starts with a joke. Please welcome my favorite movie of 2019, Jojo Rabbits.
Fire is bad as hell! I don't want to take this anymore!
Just take it easy, man. Shut the fuck up! For his neutral special, he wields a gun.
Credit to Shea Froze. You're amazing, man.
Anyways, let's discuss.
He's a great reviewer.
He is.
Damn right he is.
Oh man.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Anyways,
Woo! Oh man. Anyway.
anyways, I have a couple of discussions I want to discuss here, and one of them has to do with one of my earliest videos on my YouTube channel, and the topic on one of the earliest episodes on the podcast. I'm going to tell you all why I basically lost interest on making anticipated films of the year lists. And before you say anything, no, it's not just because of the pandemic delaying all these movies I've been looking forward to. It's actually a lot more than that.
Go for it.
Okay, yeah. Reason number one. Not all movies are on my radar right away. Going into the new year, I only know the major film releases. I don't hear about the smaller indie films until months, even days later, before I eventually decide to see it. I'm practically a normie with these new releases. Like, to give you an example, my top 5 of 2020, which are Promising Young Woman, Tenet, Soul, Nomadland, and Sound of Metal. Back in the beginning of 2020, I've only heard of 2 of these movies, Soul and Tenet, due to the people behind them. I didn't hear about the other 3 movies until they got the awards buzz that it got, which eventually led me to see them. Reason number 2, disappointments. One of those times there's a movie that I'm really anticipated. I just can't wait to see it, but then it just disappoints me to no end. Like, to give you some examples. Back in 2016, I had Independence Day Resurgence. Seriously, Roland Emmerich is pretty much a 2-trick pony. Speaking of ponies, 2017 had My Little Pony the movie, which I did like, but I had so many problems with that movie. And in 2019, I had Men in Black International, which you don't know how much of a powerhouse that movie was.
It was on my worst films of 2019 list.
I can understand that. Reason number 3, too much of a hassle to try to find enough movies to fill my list. Every year, there's a small list of movies I'm looking forward to more than others. And for the past couple of years, I tried to go bigger and bigger since I've been seeing more and more movies each year. For 2016 and 2017, I did a top 11 because, to quote the Nostalgia Critic, I always like to go one step beyond. For 2018 and 2019, I did a top 15. And for 2020, I had a top 20. The only problem is that there's always that one movie I didn't really mean to put on the list, but I just felt like putting on just to fill the quota. For example, last year, the only reason why I put Top Gun Maverick on here, even though I haven't seen the original, is that the original has somewhat of a following, and the trailer looked moderately interesting. And my last reason is I don't always see every single movie I put on the list. For example, for 2018, I listed the then upcoming Jungle Book reboot directed by Andy Serkis, Mowgli Legend of the Jungle, or something like that. The problem is that it got dumped onto Netflix literally last minute, and back then I did not have Netflix. Well, now I do, and now I can see most movies in a different way. But after the critical indifference is gone and seeing that few people actually remember it, I just haven't bothered with it ever since. And to this day, I still haven't seen it.
I have a feeling that it's worse than Jon Favreau's The Jungle Book.
So I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, on to our final topic of the day, and that is discussing the recent nominations for the 93rd Academy Awards. Now, for this list in particular, I didn't exactly hate this lineup, but like every year, there's always that one snub or one pick when where I was just like, what? Anyways, let's get down to this. For best visual effects, we have Love and Monsters. I've heard that movie. I've heard good things. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Neither have I.
The Midnight Sky. Which is The Midnight Sky, which I'm happy is on here because to me it's 2020's Ad Astra and how overlooked it is. Then we have Mulan. Interesting. Next is the one and only Ivan. I haven't seen it. And Tenet, which better freaking win.
Seriously, that film needs to win. I'll be pissed if Mulan even dares gets it.
I really like Tenet.
I love Tenet.
My number 4, like I said, it's my number 4 of the year. But there are a couple snubs in here. Like, where's Sonic the Hedgehog?
It's an example that listening to your fans can improve a movie.
And also, where's the Invisible Man?
Yeah, you know what? Where was that film? Replace Mulan with the Invisible Man. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. And I'd also probably throw in Project Power on here because I actually did like that movie. But Love and Monsters isn't that bad of a pick. Anyways, for best film editing, we have The Father, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7.
All 5 of those absolutely deserved it.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Even though I'm pretty sad that Tenet got booted off the list, but this is a not bad of a lineup. Anyways, for best makeup and hairstyling, we have Emma, we have Hillbilly Elegy, we have Marini's Black Bottom, Mank, and Pinocchio, which is the latest film. I haven't seen Pinocchio, but what really intrigued me is that it's the second adaptation to star Roberto Benigni, not as the title character this time, but as his father Geppetto.
Yeah, we all know how the 2002 film went.
But
garbage.
But yeah, I'm pretty sad to see that Birds of Prey got snubbed and The Witches because I thought it was a pretty underrated film. But like the editing list, this makeup and hairstyling isn't all that bad.
I love the makeup and I'll say this. I think all 5 of them deserved it. Hell, even though Hillbilly Elegy was one of the worst movies I saw last year, I did say in my original review that the makeup in that film was very well done.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, for best costume design, we have Emma once again, Marini's Black Bottom, Mank, Mulan, and Pinocchio.
I don't think Mulan deserved it. I'm sorry.
Once again, another movie that Nick and I pretty much are polar opposites on. For best production design, we have The Father, Marini's Black Bottom, Mank, News of the World, and Tenet.
I'm glad News of the World is getting some recognition. Same thing with Tenet.
Mm-hmm. Actually, not that bad of a list. For best cinematography, we have Judas and the Black Messiah. We have Mank. We have News of the World. We have Nomadland. That's gonna take it. And The Trial of the Chicago 7. Okay, yeah. I know that Judas and the Black Messiah is getting rave reviews, and it does deserve to get nominated for next year's awards, not this year's awards. Seriously, what was up with the stupid decision to postpone the deadline? I mean, I know the ceremony got pushed back, but that's That's not even close to an excuse.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can understand if it's for the pandemic reasons, but it's just come on.
Honestly, I'd replace Jewish in the Black Messiah because Pieces of a Woman, because that movie looked unfucking believable. I mean, that opening shot. Damn, man. Anyways, for best sound. Not for editing or mixing, because this is the first. Because
just sound.
Yeah, because this is the first time in a while that they only did one sound categories. But anyways, we have Greyhound, okay movie, but I can see it. We have Mank, yes. News of the World, okay. Soul, absolutely.
Yes.
And Sound of Metal. That better win.
Sound of Metal for the win.
Mm-hmm. And it was for Best Original Song, we have Fight For You from Judas and the Black Messiah. We have Hear My Voice from The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Great song.
We have Husavik from Eurovision Song Contest. I actually listened to that song and I really loved it. We have IOC Scene from The Life Ahead and Speak Now from One Night in Miami.
Nice.
Again, a pretty decent list, but I'd also fill in It's Alright from Soul and The Plan from Tenet on here.
Yeah.
In fact, replace Fight For You with It's Alright.
Or replace Eurovision with that song from Soul. Just saying.
Anyways, for Best Original Score, we have The Five Bloods. I don't really remember the score that much. I more remember other aspects, like we'll get to him later. We have Mank, yes. Minari, good. News of the World, yes. And Soul. Soul's gonna win it easily.
Oh, easily. That has the best musical score of the year, hands down.
But where's what's his name for Tenet? And
Ludwig,
yeah, and you were saying?
I'm sorry. I'm not good at pronunciations, especially if it's from if a person has like a name that's really hard for me to pronounce.
Yeah. Anyways, best anime short film, I don't really care, but I saw Burrow, and it's a pretty good short. Best live action short film, I don't care. Best documentary short subject, I don't give a shit. Best documentary feature, I couldn't care less. Best international feature film. Hold on. For Best International Feature Film, we have Another Round. This is the latest by Tom Vinterberg of The Hunt, not the latest movie, the Mads Mikkelsen one. We have Better Days, Collective, The Man Who Sold His Skin, and Quo Vadis Ada?
I never heard of that film.
Now, we're not going to mention Minari since it's technically an American production.
Yeah.
Anyways, for Best Animated Feature, we have Onward. I thought it was okay. Over the Moon. I haven't seen it. Shaun the Sheep movie, Farmageddon. I had mixed feelings about that one. Soul. That's going to take it easily. And Wolf Walkers. For Best
Soul for the win.
For Best Adapted Screenplay, we have Borat's Secret Movie Film. We have
Very nice.
Very nice.
We have The Father. Yes. We have Nomadland. That for the win. We have One Night in Miami and a movie I've never even heard of, The White Tiger.
I heard of that movie. I don't know much about it.
For Best Original Screenplay, we have Judas and the Black Messiah. Moving on, we have Minari, yes. Promising Young Woman, hell yes.
Yes.
Sound of Metal, interesting.
Yeah.
And The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Yeah.
Now, I already said my take on Judas and the Black Messiah being on here. I'd easily replace it with Never Really, Sometimes Always. And as much as Sound of Metal was my favorite movie of 2020, it wasn't really the screenplay that made that movie great. It's more the acting and directing. I'd probably replace it with Soul. Anyways, for Best Supporting Actress, we have Maria Bakalova for Borat's subsequent movie film. We have Glenn Close in Hillbilly Elegy. She was one of the better aspects of that movie, to be fair.
Yeah.
We have Olivia Colman for The Father. Amanda Seyfried for Mank. And Yang Yoo-jung, sorry if I mispronounced it, for Minari.
Yang Jung. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. It's for Minari, and to that I say yes.
Mm-hmm. And interesting fact: did you know that Glenn Close is actually the only the third actor to be nominated for both the Oscar and the Razzie for the exact same role?
Yes, and look. While I think it deserves the worst screenplay nomination, worst director, Glenn Close does not deserve the. Excuse me. She does not deserve that worst supporting actress nomination. That's just like, really. She was one of the best parts. She was actually the best thing about the film. She was the reason the whole film didn't get an F from me, even though it was shit.
But even then, I'd probably replace her with Helen Sengo for News of the World.
I would replace her too.
And besides, Glenn won a long time ago for Fatal Attraction.
Yeah, she did.
For Best Supporting Actor, we have Borat himself for The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Mm-hmm. We have Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah. He's going to take it easily. We have Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami, Paul Raci for Sound of Metal, and Lakeith Stanfield for Judas and the Black Messiah.
I'm not going to argue with that with those choices. So
I'd probably replace Lakeith Stanfield with Chadwick Boseman for The Five Bloods, and even though I hear Daniel Kaluuya is just terrific, for reasons that I pretty much stated, I'd take him out entirely and replace him with either Yahya Abdul Mateen II, sorry if I mispronounced it, for The Trial of the Chicago 7, or even Kenneth Branagh for Tenet. Seriously, he needed that bone after Artemis Fowl.
Or as we like to call it Artemis Fowl stench.
Yeah, seriously. For Best Actress, we have Viola Davis, Marini's Black Bottom. I can understand that. Andra Day for United States vs. Billie Holiday. Hey, that rhymed. We have Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman. Yes. Frances McDormand for Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman, who is my pick, by the way.
Carey Mulligan,
and not just because she was snubbed for Shame.
Right. Also, I heard the United States versus Billie Holiday isn't a good movie, and I heard she's good in the film, but the whole movie wasn't good anyway. So. I'm sorry, but where was Sidney Flanagan for Never Really, Sometimes Always?
Yeah, her and Elizabeth Moss for Invisible Man.
replace Andre Day with Sidney Flanagan.
Yeah, really. And for Best Actor, we have first of all, not Delroy Lindo.
I kind of knew, I kind of knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, me too. Especially since he got snubbed for the Golden Globes. Anyways, as for who is nominated, we have Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, my pick. Chadwick Boseman for Marini's Black Bottom.
He's gonna get it.
He's gonna get it.
He'll definitely get it.
We have Anthony Hopkins as the father.
Anthony Hopkins, believe it or not, is actually my pick, even though I know Chadwick Boseman's gonna get it.
Mm-hmm. We have Gary Oldman as Mank, and we have Stephen Young for Minari.
Like I said, even though the Anthony Hopkins is my pick to win, and Riz Ahmed is your pick to win, I know we all know Chadwick Boseman's going to get it. But let me just sum up my quick thoughts on The Father one last time. I saw The Father again with my mom last weekend, and I loved it even more the second time. And I also showed her Promising Young Woman on the same weekend, and I loved it even more the second time. And I'm glad I put them both in the top 5 because they were both amazing movies. Seriously, if you have not seen Promising Young Woman or The Father, do yourself a favor, get off of this computer, go to the theaters, or get the film on DVD for Promising Young Woman, or go to the theaters to see The Father, and just go. Seriously, both of these films deserve to be seen.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, for Best Director, we have Lee Isaac Chung for Minari. Okay. Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman.
Oh,
Hell
yes.
Yes. David Fincher for Mank. Yes. Thomas Fincher for Another Round. Interesting. And Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. She's gonna take it.
She's gonna take it. Nomadland was a masterpiece to me, and Chloe Zhao did a wonderful job directing that film. Also, there was one director that really didn't get a lot of recognition, which I'm really disappointed in. Where was Florian Zeller for The Father?
And Darius Marder for Sound of Metal.
Honestly, I would replace Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round with Florian Zeller. I heard amazing things about Another Round, and I was originally going to watch it before I made my best films of the year list, but I sadly didn't have enough time to do it due to college and other things. So, but I will watch Another Round when I do get a chance. But as of right now, that's just how I personally feel.
Anyways, on to Best Picture. First of all, 8 nominations again. Really?
Are you kidding me, Oscars? Are you kidding me? 8 nominations? 8 nominations? Did you not learn your lesson?
And it doesn't even matter if so few movies came out in 2020. You still have 10 movies to pick from. What?
Yeah, really? Not 8, just 10!
At least they're gonna learn their lesson from next year when they bump it up back to 10.
Yeah, really.
Anyways, as for who is nominated, we have The Father. Okay.
Yes.
Judas and the Black Messiah should have been nominated for next year, but whatevs. We have Mank. Yes.
Yeah.
Minari.
Yes.
Nomadland. That's
good. Hell yes!
Promising Young Woman.
Yeah!
Sound of Metal.
Yeah!
And The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Woo!
Although personally, I'd take out Judas and the Black Messiah and fill in Soul instead, as well as fill in the last spots with News of the World and probably Never Really, Sometimes Always, or Another Round.
Yeah.
Anyways, Anyways, this concludes yet another great episode of the FilmBrony Podcast. I hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll see you whenever.
All right. So I'll say my final take on it. That was a lot of fun doing. I hope you guys enjoyed the FilmBrony Podcast. That was a lot of fun doing this, and be sure to subscribe to FilmBrony and Christian Frates on their YouTube channels in the link in the description below. Give them the love they absolutely deserve, and because they are amazing friends to talk to. And until we see you in April for episode 16 of the FilmBrony Podcast, hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend, and I hope you guys have a happy Easter. Have a happy and safe Easter, and as always, stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, and just stay safe. Mm-hmm. We'll see you next time thanks for visiting us for episode 15, and we'll see you next time for episode 16. Bye-bye for now.